Good evening, folks. This is Charles from SurvivorsCircle on April 11th, 2023. Welcome to the show. The topic of the show today is going to be survive is going to be conspiracy theories. And I picked my name today for the king of all the old conspiracy theories. The the uh, the old mariner with the albatross. And I alone have survived to tell the story. And that's the way conspiracy theories begin, you know. They start from eyewitness evidence that no one wants to believe. There are so many different conspiracy theories, but we're going to break in and we're going to talk about some of the ones that have kind of stood the test of time. And that's where we're at today. Hello, Maria. Glad to have you with us today. I hope
Well,
we
I
have
hope.
you with us today.
Well,
Okay,
if this works out, great. If it doesn't, then I'll switch to my phone. So
that sounds okay.
I just need. Well, and I think it was more of me freezing up
Hmm.
and things like that. So
Okay.
just let us
Uh,
know how it goes, and then if it
so we have
doesn't,
Tom, Bobby, and soon to have more, no doubt. So, um,
just let me know how it goes because if it doesn't go well, I'll switch over to my telephone.
okay, okay. Did you get the email I sent you on the conspiracy theories,
I did.
the listings?
And that's just some
I'm
of the
going to
stuff
run.
that's well known.
You know, there's I got into that. There were today more looking for the odd ones and the long gone ones, and there are a lot out there. And there's entirely different families of conspiracy theories. You know, there's the ones that are brought up to hide other things, maybe. You know, like there are official conspiracy theories, right? Like the Warren Report. That's the official. I think that qualifies as a conspiracy theory under any kind of open-eyed evidence. You know, but that really is like the grandfather of the term conspiracy theory because that was introduced kind of really introduced into the language in 1964, right before the Warren Commission uh, published their results. And so I guess really I was probably a conspiracy theorist before then, but definitely after that. By that time, I remember the first one that got any legs was Mark Lane, and he published a book, and I can't remember the name of it in like 1964, right? Not within 6 months, I think, saying no, he had to have help, you know, and established some of the connections to that particular to from Oswald to that particularly terrible event that just didn't make any sense, and they've never really been explained, you know. Uh, and that one holds on, you know. It still has legs in the tinfoil hat community. So, a political scientist, Lance DeHaven Smith, wrote that the term entered everyday language in the United States after 1964, the year in which the Warren Commission published its findings on the Kennedy assassination. And the other thing about a really good conspiracy theory is that there's a great um, deal of effort put out to debunk it. You know, uh, You can't get that, the stories go out and they can't get published. The writers lose their jobs. The writers, oh, well, wait a minute. The reporters that are handling it end up committing suicide in a hotel room, in West Virginia. All kinds of bad things happen to you if you look the wrong way at a conspiracy. Um, that's just the way it goes. Um, I guess the first what we started with was a list that Ufi found for us, and
And thank you,
the
Ufi, because that was awesome. That was
yes,
wonderful.
yes, 10. It was something like a bunch of conspiracy theories that turned out to be true.
Yeah, it's like 10 of them.
Yes,
And I
I
think
mean,
you added a few to that.
provably, absolutely true. Okay. The first one she had on her that came up on that list was the FBI spied on John Lennon. Okay. This was from I think 1970s. Oh gosh. I don't know how long that, probably from like 1968 to 1970. And I'm sure they followed him around after that. But the that was only one part of a overreaching program run by the FBI called COINTELPRO. They followed everybody around. They followed Martin Luther King around. They followed anybody that was in anti-war. They messed with them. They anybody that was involved in race relations and the civil rights movement at that time. Anyone that was involved in union activities, and there was like a rumor once that the best place to find an FBI agent was at a KKK meeting. So yeah, but I mean, and that was an acknowledged, known program that slipped out in the with the Freedom of Information Act in 1978. Is that when that came out? I'm not sure, something like that. But yeah, that one, yeah, but we're gonna get but that was only one small part of a much bigger program. But it's absolutely true. The paperwork was all publicly acknowledged under the Freedom of Information Act, and yeah, they were tracing him around and following him and listening to his phones and all the rest. Although he was not particularly active politically, but they knew he had a voice, so they needed to control that. Um, I mixed some in here. So, okay, tobacco companies lied about smoking. Yes, like that was a known thing for a long time that smoking's not good for you. But there's money to be made, business. You know, there was a world to be conquered, and kids in India needed to learn to smoke Marlboros too. Operation Northwoods. Operation Northwoods, for those that don't remember that, and probably more than a few don't, Operation Northwoods was a proposed operation back in the 1960s after the Bay of Pigs to fly to to fake crashing an American aircraft, an American civilian airliner, and blame it on the Cubans. in order to be used for the false flag to attack and throw the communists out of Cuba, I guess. And it was really discussed in the Nixon era. So I'm not the Tuskegee experiment. The Tuskegee
That one,
experiment, particularly nasty bit of work.
that one bothers me a lot.
Yeah,
But I did notice that not in the list was the blankets that were given to the Native Americans.
true. See, that yes, yes, lots of that kind of thing. But that predates our conspiracy theory. That was just that shit wasn't even hidden back then. It was just openly acknowledged. Uh, there are massacres, in the American West that were never recorded. Never reported on. It's yeah, but there you go. Let's see. Operation Paperclip. This is right after World War II. The Germans had great science and a really good intelligence apparatus too, but great science. And they didn't want to just hang all those brilliant German scientists. So they brought them in. They said, you're not really a Nazi, right? You did it because you had to. You didn't do it because you liked it. And bunches of them said, yeah, oh yes, we're just good scientists. We don't care about that political stuff. And so they sent them over by the shipload. They were involved in the birth of the United States space program. They became a almost essential part of American aviation history. And another part that is so often missed is the American spy agencies basically incorporated the German intelligence bureaus, the SASI and the I can't remember their names. Were basically taken over wholeheartedly by the Americans because as long as they didn't even care if they were Nazis, as long as they hated the communists, they were fine. They're good enough to do that. They're good enough to work for us. Air America. The United States was moving drugs all over the world really from the end of World War II, actually before World War II, but let's stick to the main part of the Air America program. It was after World War II. It was moving heroin and moving arms and moving anything that needed to be moved secretly all over southern China and the Southeast Asia. The main point there was the bad part about that was they found out they could make a lot of money doing that. They would take the arms in and bring the drugs out. And a lot of the drugs ended up on the streets of the United States. And that wasn't necessarily a good thing. Uh, there's been books and movies and entire chapters of reams and reams of material about that. One of these days, that could do you could do an entire hour and a half program on practically any one of these so far. One that I had not heard of was in the after the communist scare in American government in the late post-war era. They had the Canadians decided that having gay people working in the government it was too easy to they were dangerously easy to blackmail. So they designed a program, something like a lie detector, that they called gaydar, and they administered these steps to people in top secret places, whatever, in order to weed out the gays. And that was what. Then they administered them and tossed people out of the programs. I thought that was, and I had never heard of that one. Let me see. MK Ultra. I'm sure most are familiar with MK Ultra. MK Ultra
That started in Kentucky, didn't it?
Oh, I don't know, actually.
I think it did.
Some of the work that was most published actually was in Montreal, where they were doing horrendous experiments on people. Part of MK Ultra was the introduction of LSD. They were using LSD. There was a particular guy, I should have written his name down, who was an American scientist that worked for the Army, who they had given a dose of LSD to without his knowledge. And he ended up flying out of a window, something like 6 stories up, and dying. And they finally, something like 50 years later, admitted at least that was probably what happened. They didn't say someone threw him out the window, but they said it was the result of those experiments. One result. And God only knows how many other instances of people who were given rather mind-altering drugs and treatments without their real knowledge of what was going on. Were probably a lot of lives there, a lot of lives lost. The first lady in the late 1920s, Edith Wilson, was the operational president of the United States. I had heard this before, but I didn't realize I thought it was just a fact. I didn't realize it was a conspiracy theory. Okay.
Did it say for how many years or what her time was? Did it say how long?
It was from 19 until 21. Until the inauguration in March of 21, I think.
So a couple of years.
Because Woodrow Wilson had a second major stroke and was clearly, greatly handicapped by that. So, yes. But when we think about that now, I wonder if we should extend the same kudos to Nancy Reagan, because
Was it 2
believe
years for
there are
her
many people.
as well?
I'm sorry.
Did that did his Alzheimer's kick in about the time that he was shot? Did that bring it on, you think?
I suspect it did. I suspected the shooting had something to do with it, but that was kind of early, and he more or less recovered. But then we're talking, so 6 years later, he definitely lost a few steps going into the later 80s. So, yep, I'll put that one as definitely true myself. Weather modification. Yes, they have been attempting doing weather modification since the end of World War II.
And succeeding.
Yes, successfully. And that's a thing that I don't think they have enough control. Number one, they don't have enough control of it. I don't think so. And if they did have enough control of it, they wouldn't admit it. Imagine the liability. Well, a tornado went through here instead of going over there, Well, a hurricane didn't hit the coast of Florida. It swept over and went right through Mississippi. Gee, I remember a map with markers on it saying, oh no, the storm's going to go over here. No, nothing to do with that, right?
Well, and that's the thing too. I can remember reading years ago, and I don't remember where I was reading it, but they were talking about that they could try to dismantle hurricanes so it wouldn't cause
Yes,
so much damage and death.
yes,
But that's how the earth cools itself.
yes, exactly.
That is something that you don't want to screw with. Quit
Well,
building
yeah,
on the coast. If you don't want to be affected by a hurricane, don't live on the beach.
don't build high-rise apartment buildings on sand
Exactly.
50 feet from the ocean. Yeah, it's probably not a good idea.
But that's just like we've got a lot of.
I'm gonna have to be really careful to go back and get some of these new ones. The latest. Okay, show. Bring it up. There it is. The latest trove of leaked U.S. top secret documents was intentional. Yeah, probably was. That was the.
Now, are you talking about WikiLeaks?
Involving?
Or are you talking about
the Ukraine? All kinds of arms information, and how many practically down to the level of how many bullets they had and where they were stored. It was, but there's nothing to say that the documents weren't modified, edited properly before they were leaked. On this kind of deal, it's so difficult to tell who's telling the truth because everybody is lying. Yes. Okay. So we'll give it some time. We'll see what the historians come up with. Operation Mockingbird. Operation Mockingbird was a 1950s program in which the CIA recruited and propped up various media organizations to influence public opinion. In April of 1976, the Church Committee, a U.S. Senate task force, conducted an investigation into the CIA's influence over both foreign and national news organizations and stated that the CIA had maintained a huge global network that provided intel for the organization and at times attempted to influence opinion through the use of covert propaganda. Of course, nothing like that happens these days. Yes, no. And that was admitted by a number of even lately, I can't remember the reporter's name. There was a very famous reporter in Germany who came out and said, yes, I worked for the CIA nearly all my career. when they sent me a message, I'd make sure it got worked into the story. Yes, Julie. The shit is going to hit the fan for all these atrocities. I don't think
I have
so.
no idea when, because these bastards have been doing this shit forever and nobody's held them accountable yet.
Exactly.
The attitude is it didn't affect me, so why should I worry about it?
Read the good grief words, Dirk. Wiki. Just go to Wikipedia and read the entire article for conspiracy theories. You get the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Well, that term came up because people that were speaking the truth, the government didn't want them to have any credence, so they started calling them conspiracy theorists.
Yes, that is it. You know,
and they still do that today.
Conspiracy theorists with a tinfoil hat. You know, oh no, you know, it couldn't. What's the latest one? Nord Stream 2 pipeline disaster. Who did it? Was it the Russians? Was it the Americans? Was it the Germans? Was it the oil companies?
I'd say it was the U.S.
Yeah. Because one of the main things that it did was it certainly ballooned up the price of natural gas all over the world. Okay? It was natural gas 2 years before that happened was too cheap. It was too cheap to store. They were venting millions of cubic feet of natural gas because they didn't have anywhere to put it.
Well, they used to do that all over the place. You could see the
my God.
pipelines coming straight up out of the ground.
I remember satellite photos on light them up. We just fracked these wells, you know, thousands of acres of wells just burning like a candle in the night. And I've seen them here. And that was amazing. It was like a blowtorch 200 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
Just burning.
I remember seeing that all my life.
Days and days.
Mm-hmm. And I can remember I asked my dad, because I was little, I was like, why is that pipe still stay on fire? And he said they're burning off the natural gas because they don't have any place to put it.
Yep, that's true.
But they, you know, and it was always right there by that oil pump.
Yep. Let me see. Back to my. Let me see. Okay. Yes. Oh. Maria brought this up the other day. That was Gene Dixon, was Nancy Reagan's psychic advisor. Excuse me.
Now, was she more? She was more of a. She wasn't really psychic. She was.
Yeah.
She read the astrology, or.
Yes, I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All righty.
Yep.
Okay. In the investigation of the death of Adolf Hitler at the end of World War II, It turns out that the skull that had been identified as his skull by dental records, if I remember correctly, um, someone got hold of it and took a DNA sample, and it turned out that it was a woman. So
His
unless
girlfriend?
so you have
Was it his girlfriend?
you have a choice. You have a choice. You know, maybe the mustache was fake. Or maybe they didn't find his skull.
Yeah. Well, supposedly, they never did say if it was his girlfriend or what.
Eva Braun. Yes.
What about her?
I thought they had found another set of remains that they had called hers before. Other than that, but I don't remember the details of it. And who are you going to believe? You're going to believe the Russians? That was their side of the line, you know. In fact, the United States pursued many tips and sightings of Adolf Hitler in Argentina, other parts of South America, and Indonesia in the post-war era. Okay, so I'm going to go back and start it back to, I think that was most of the ones that were officially true by that particular article. The Earth is 6,000 years old. Now that qualifies as a conspiracy theory. It's been around for thousands of years. You know, that particular conspiracy theory has been around for a long time, but it qualifies, I think. Yeah, the Earth is flat.
Were they talking about with the Earth only being 6,000 years old had to do with carbon dating is not correct?
Oh, they did everything in the world to deny it. Like, which was it? Where was the creation? Was the Creation Museum with the big ark? Isn't that in Kentucky somewhere?
Yeah, it's somewhere in Kentucky. I have no clue where it is, but yeah, they recreated the ark.
Jesus on a dinosaur.
Jesus wasn't born then. He can't be on the dinosaur.
Well, you know.
They were all gone by then.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
By like 65 million years. Okay. Earth is the flat Earth, and I read a joke today, or I think it was a joke about the flat Earth. A guy was talking to an airplane pilot and asked the pilot, "Well, if when you're flying, do you have to turn your plane and dive down every now and then?" The pilot said, "No." Well, see, that proves the Earth's flat, because otherwise you have, you know, if the Earth were round, you'd have to dive every now and then to stay on the Earth, or you just fly right on up into space, right? If you just kept going in the same direction. It's not quite that simple, but okay.
Didn't ask him if he had to take that sharp dive down and fly upside down, though, did he?
Yeah, really. I'm looking forward to that someday. Oh, God.
Not me.
This is one that I've never seen thrown out as a conspiracy theory, but it's kind of in our neighborhood. Human beings were interbred with ET, and that is another one of those ones that I'd say, show me the evidence. A lot of people think that we were either interbred with or modified by extraterrestrials at some time in our history. And I would think that particular kind of intercession would be would leave marks that we would know, we would be able to identify medically, you know. So okay, number 13.
Do you know what I think that most people base that on is what the fetus looks like before
Could be.
before they're born?
Or let
Seriously,
me see. Let me see
I
something
know
here.
a man.
What was it? Battlestar Galactica.
I
Yeah.
didn't watch that much, but
Ah.
I know a
Which one?
gentleman,
The
and
first one or the second one? You know.
and
Either way, it was
you
a
know,
long time ago in a galaxy far away. You know, there were these humans that finally found their way to Earth. You know. Yeah. Mm, okay.
but I know a gentleman, and I haven't seen anything from him in a very long time. But he was firmly convinced that because the way that a fetus looked before it was born,
mhm,
that matched what a gray alien looked like. And then the human DNA took over to form the child
mhm.
to make the child look human.
Well, if
I don't know.
I'm not that up on gestational anatomy, but at like 7 months, it's like indistinguishable between a pig and a mouse and a human. You know, so okay. I mean, to the layman's eye, shall we say?
We're all creatures of
Yeah.
the
Well,
earth, so
what's it? We share like 70% of our DNA with mice. Mice and humans are cousins. You know.
they say birds are descendants of dinosaurs. So where's
Yeah.
that evidence? Where's that DNA evidence?
Actually, that's at just under 50%. Because we all live on this, you know, whether you're fish or birds or mice or elephants, we're all that's all part of the mechanical part of surviving on this planet, you know, and it's evolved to live on this planet. So that, you know, I just say a a creature who was demonstrably different from that biome, from fitting in that biome, just wouldn't be able to survive here very well. I don't think so. Well, one of these days, when they show up, you know, we'll have to ask them. But until then, I'm going to say no. Did I skip over the mafia? The mafia doesn't exist and didn't exist.
You did. You skipped
Okay,
it.
I skipped it. From 1946 to 1962, the official United States government, that would have been under the FBI, stated that the mafia as an organization did not exist, which I think is kind of funny because in World War II, in the startup of World War II, the United States Army took American mobsters out of New York and used them sent them back to Sicily with Army support in order to get things ready for the landing in Sicily. But they weren't organized; they didn't exist. Yeah, okay, that's pretty conspiracy stuff, right? Oh, this is something that is new, rather new compared to some of this other stuff. The introduction of tetraethyl lead in gasoline and all the damage.
Listen, I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this or not.
Nope, I'm not getting anything here.
I can hear it loud and clear.
I hear something kind of roaring in the background.
We're talking about conspiracy theories, and that was
conspiracies, and there's the black.
There's a Black Hawk
the black
helicopter that just went by.
No. Okay. See there?
How fun is that? How often
Yes.
does that happen?
You can't just ask this stuff.
Can't make that shit up.
As long as they don't like hover right over your house,
You know what?
I
That'd
guess
be
you're
cool.
okay.
Shit. That would be cool.
That'll be next. That'll be next.
Yeah, that'll be next. I'm sorry you couldn't hear it. I can hear it. It's super loud.
Oh, I'm
through
sure.
my microphone and headphones.
Okay, let me see. What's going on? CT, look, I missed that one. What did I miss there?
There you go. Okay, so hang on, Charles is calling. Hello?
Hello, this is Charles.
Yeah.
This is me. What's up?
My
computer did a restart all by itself.
Oh, I guess that was because of my Black Hawk helicopter, I guess.
It just popped up and said restarting, updating, preparing Windows.
That's not good.
I don't know what to say.
I don't either. Well, I've got you on the phone, and I guess everybody can hear. I don't know. Let me know.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Oofy says, Maria, if you run the show, your audio sounds great, great, great. See, we can blame all of this on Charles.
Yes, blame it on me.
Yeah.
Maybe so. Okay.
Well, yeah, and Charles sounds like crap.
I'm going to try to get it back up, but in maybe 2 minutes. Okay?
Well, that's fine. Well, I mean,
okay.
You know, I got you on the phone, so we're good. I do. That's funny. Okay, so yes, the Black Hawk helicopter flies over my house, and then Charles's computer decides to do an update.
Yes.
That is so perfect.
Without any previous knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
No opportunity to reschedule. None of that stuff. It just quit and decided to restart all by itself.
Well, and seeing on my side, I had decided to hold your phone to the right side of your head and speak. There we go.
It's falling all over the place. Sign in stuff up here.
So for everybody that doesn't know, just because I've had problems with my Wi-Fi. I never had this problem before. I mean, it was kind of sketchy, but it wasn't as bad as it has been. So tonight, I have put, I'm running. I can't, Oofy, stop it. I can't, I put a hotspot on to see if maybe it would run better and it would do instead of using my Wi-Fi. And apparently it has. And Oofy, I can't do it with my right arm hand because if I do, I can't work my mouse. Sorry. Oofy's being demanding. And now Ron's telling me to spell YMCA. I could probably do it. But yeah, so absolutely no warning whatsoever. Charles's computer decided it was going to do an update. There was no countdown. Nothing. And Julie says, so these aren't conspiracy theories. They are true stories if they don't want us to talk. I would never, I don't want to ever think that anybody's ever listening to me enough to come fly over the top of my house and screw everything up. I don't ever want to think I'm that important, ever. Never, never. Oofy says, so you've got a Wi-Fi hotspot reflection problem. I got something. Hotspot, hot flashes, whatever you want to call it.
Another window up. Yes, please. Okay. Send.
So Oofy's telling me about a hard line. I've got one, and it doesn't matter because when I run a test speed on anything I've got, it's 3 to 6 megabytes per second, and that's all I got. It's because of where I live. I don't have anything better than that. It doesn't really do any good, unfortunately. Julie said, had my phone and computers hacked by a network of bad people wanting to stop me from doing my work. Back in the day, and it's probably been, I'd say 5 years ago, I had that problem because I was knee deep into anything UFO and paranormal. And it just seemed like, and I don't really want to think that humans had anything to stop me, but I had a lot of different paranormal activity that went on. It was really odd. I would have voicemails left on my phone that were not made by quote unquote people. I would have a lot of activity going on outside and inside of my home, and I had to do a whole lot of different stuff. So, Oofy says, but you've never had audio problems until recently. What changed? I spent an hour and a half with my internet provider yesterday morning. It was almost 2 hours, and they told me everything was good on their end. They didn't understand why I was having problems on my end, and I've taken my computer to someone I trust a lot, and he's gone through it and done a lot with it, and everything's good. So I don't know what's going on. Yeah, distractions. And I can tell you a really good story, Julie. You'll enjoy this because I'm sure you've had this to happen. I think I was at the time when I was married. This was probably about 7-8 years ago. My husband was in the living room watching TV, and I was in my son's room, totally opposite ends of the house, and I was watching my TV show, and I had this huge, loud thump that happened in the ceiling above my head. Now this was 9, 10 o'clock at night, and he heard it. It was loud enough above my head. He heard it, and he was like, well, "What was that?" Of course, at this time too, we had probably about 10 inches of snow that had fallen that year at that time. So, anyways, I was like, I don't know what that was, but it was loud. And probably about 5 minutes later, there were 2 big thumps that happened right over the top of my head. And I jumped up, and he jumped up, and we went outside to see if there was somebody on the roof. We didn't have a clue because we were like, well, maybe the snow fell off the top of the house or something. We didn't know. But there was no snow on the roof. So we walk around the house. There's nobody there. We don't see any footprints in the snow, anything. And come back in the house. I go sit down in my son's room to finish watching the TV show. My husband lays down on the couch to finish watching his. And then there was it shook the house. It was so loud. And he's like, what is going on? I was like, I don't know. When he said, all I know is that you've got to fix it. You've got to fix this problem. We can't do this. So it was probably, I guess it was 2 nights later. We didn't have any more problems, but it was a couple of nights later. I was outside and I was making black salt. And with that atmosphere, you've got to have, when you make that, it's got to be very calming, very positive. And all I can say is that the snow being on the ground and it being cold and calm and quiet outside was the best way to make black salt. And I used to have to make a lot of it. Julie's asking if that's called witchcraft. I'm not real sure if you want to call it witchcraft. I never did. But I did use, I guess it's just however you want to look at it. Maybe it is. I've had to do the separation rituals before. Cord cutting. Maybe you want to call it cord cutting. I've had to do those before. For myself. I've never done that with somebody else. I don't know, Julie, is that witchcraft? Ron or Oofy, what's your definition of witchcraft? Is that it wasn't a spell? Oh, well, I can hear Charles is echoing through the phone.
Here's some guy I thought I could get in and you could let me in. I give her my wrong leg. I'll be back.
Do I need to send you a link, Charles?
Nope.
Okay.
I'll see you there in a second.
Okay.
I hope.
Yeah. Maybe it is witchcraft. I've done a lot of stuff like that. I've used holy water with stuff. I use sage. Use prayers a lot with cleansings. Had to do that. And man, we just went from conspiracy theories to witchcraft in a heartbeat. I'm kind of liking this. Let's keep on with it.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I do that a lot. Okay, so Julie, here you go. Julie says what you did is protection. Black magic is not intent to do harm. You're right. I even use herbs and spices.
I'm hanging up the phone now.
I use herbs and element.
What a
I
scramble.
use a lot.
God.
This is great. There you go. Witchcraft is a conspiracy theory. Ta-da!
Da, 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 da,
Don't let Cheryl Costa hear you say that.
I'm telling you. Yeah, well, you know, a lot of the conspiracy theories turned out to be true. That's what we were going. Where we were going. You know, I
This is
didn't
true.
even get to the last one. My own favorite
Mhm.
conspiracy theory
Mhm.
is that there's a group in the United States that follows the Powell Manifesto. It was published in the early 1970s to take over the universities, governments, and everything about the United States over a period of years. And they appear at all, they are absolutely, completely succeeding in their enterprise. So if you really want to know, look up the Powell memo and read it and see just how successful those group of oligarchs, businessmen, Chamber of Commerce leaders have been in dismantling the post-war United States. Actually, the United States as it has existed since after the First World War. So there you go. That was unusually. I no I I have no explanation. I have no explanation for what happened to me. I just okay. That's okay. We got back on. They can make us disappear again, but yeah, it's okay. They can't. They until they freaking hit me with lightning. I'm still gonna say as much as I can say. So there you go.
That's weather modification.
Welcome to
Correct.
my night. Welcome to my nightmare.
Mhm.
No, I didn't say. I didn't talk about this, but I've never talked about this on this show.
Mhm.
Once upon a time, for a period of about 10 years, I was a private investigator. And we got a case that was kind of woo woo, kind of into the kind of stuff that we're talking about here tonight. And all our business accounts disappeared. Our banking accounts said, you've never had, well, we don't have any record of you ever having a bank account here. Called my insurance company because you need business insurance. We don't have your name on our lists. You're not there. And then I got a call. You should really think about taking that case again. And we'll we'll get back in touch with you. And that was it. That was the entirety of. And we contacted the client and said, well, we've taken this about as far as we can, which was nowhere. And that's the end. That was the end of it. And a couple of days, everything was back to absolutely normal. So you can't. Nobody can say no. I mean, yes, this is probably just a coincidence that Windows decided to update without notice for some reason. Because I've hit updates before, and it always said, "Oh, when do you want us to reschedule it?" And I reschedule it for like 2 o'clock in the morning. This time, I guess, yeah, I had to do it right now. Okay, whatever. It's working. We're still here, kind of. But I'll go.
Would you be up to talking to Julie after the show?
Message received. Thank you. Like I really give a
Okay.
flying.
All right. So
But
that was that movie. Yes, Sophie, that's correct. That's what I use. The movie Live Free, Die Hard.
oh, there's been so many.
Well,
There
this
was
was
the
the
one
latest.
with okay. I'm thinking of the one that oh gosh, Sneakers with Robert Redford.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The, the password was no more secrets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's one.
Yeah.
Who, hmm, I'm trying to think.
So the Live Free, Die
Who
Hard
played
that I'm thinking about.
Who played Braveheart?
Oh, Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson did a movie basically talking about MK Ultra,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of truth in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's known, it's known, it's known stuff, and they put it out in the movies because they want us to know. They don't do
They
it.
also put
It
it.
wasn't it wasn't leaked out. You know, it wasn't leaked out. It was they picked the damn movie. They
But they
probably
put it.
wrote the damn movie.
They put it in the movie because they want you to think it's fake. It
Yeah.
doesn't have the word
And
documentary.
if you ever should encounter it, you'll say, well, it's just one of those things, just fake. Doesn't happen.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Until it happens a few times. And then you say, that's, lightning doesn't strike the same place
Yeah.
10 times for no reason,
Mm-hmm. But what I was going to tell you with you, what you were talking about with your business accounts disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
In that
Yeah.
movie, Live Free, Die Hard,
Mm-hmm.
that's what happened to the John McClane character.
Yeah. Yeah.
Picked up they over the CB. They were telling him it was like, okay, we just wiped out your 401k. It's gone.
Yeah.
We've taken away all the money that you have. It's gone.
Yeah.
Which absolutely, I mean, if you think about it, that's mind blowing.
Yes.
I mean, it's just
You
gone.
you can be you can be turned into a non-person.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yes.
can, I mean, if they wanted to do it, you go to the Social Security, you go to wherever, you go to prove you're a voter, that you're a citizen, that you ever lived here, that you even exist.
Mm-hmm. Right.
No, there's an entire other side of us. There's the neat part, and the rest of us that's out there in everywhere, in every act we've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be made pretty much to go away. Officially.
Yes, every bit of it. Well, hey, yeah. I mean, all they gotta do is just wipe you off the earth. No fingerprints, no.
Yeah.
I mean, if they take you away, birth certificates and all of it, it doesn't matter if you've got them. And that's the thing. We've gone to all this digital stuff, but us dinosaurs still want paper. I want paper.
Yeah.
I want something to hold in my hand. This is why I cannot make myself buy a movie off of Prime. Something I can sit and watch on. No, I can't hold it. I'm not going to buy something I can't hold. But then I say that to then tell you I have a 401k. I'm buying shit I can't hold. And it can disappear tomorrow if they wanted to do that to me.
Yes.
I have no control over that because I don't get actually. I mean, I get emailed statements. I haven't printed them out. I can't prove anything.
Oh,
yes, Ufi. Yeah, MIB, you no longer exist. They take away your fingerprints. They do all of that wonderful stuff. So, the world we live in today.
Fortunately, we can hope that never really happens to people. but it's interesting to know. But it's interesting to have these feelers out there and to listen to people who have had just this much of it done. You know, and there's not a goddamn thing you can do.
I can guarantee it
I
happens to
suppose,
people all the time.
I'm sure. I suppose eventually I could have reestablished some of that stuff on witness testimony and whatever, but they got my attention.
Hmm.
And the truth is, there wasn't anything in that case
Worth
for
it.
me anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
And it was, it
But
wouldn't
still,
have, the things that I could have found possibly were things that the client didn't really need to know anyway. Wouldn't have done the client any great service to know those things. So,
hmm
oh well. So it just didn't happen. It just plain old didn't happen. You know?
yeah, and that's the thing. That's something that you would absolutely love to dig into. I mean, they did that to you,
Mm,
and I would absolutely love to know how.
I can't prove it.
I would. No,
I
you can't
can't.
prove it.
I couldn't even. Well, let me see. Does that bank even exist anymore?
See, there you go. Yeah,
No, I don't
but
think it does. You
that's what
know?
I'm getting at. But
But if
it's
they
like,
were okay when it came back,
mhm,
they didn't have an explanation. They didn't have an explanation why it was gone, and they didn't have an explanation for why it came back. It was just
right,
there.
have that physical money.
Yeah.
You didn't have that physical, that piece of paper. You didn't have that, and then they wonder why people don't want to put money in the bank. They don't
Mhm.
want to.
Yeah.
They don't want to. I mean, this can
So
happen to anybody. Well, okay, so two. All right, so you've got your federally when you become a witness and you're under the federal protective
okay.
part of
Yes.
that. So they change
Federal Witness Protection
everything
Program.
about you. They change.
Yes.
I mean, you've got whole new identity.
So they can
somewhere.
do that. You
Oh,
know? Yeah.
they can do it. They can't change your
Yeah.
fingerprints, but they can change every bit of your history. They can
Mhm.
change your damn family tree if they wanted to.
Yep.
There's nothing you can do about it. All they got to do is go back and change those records. And you go back to like the 1800s or whatever when courthouses burnt down and
Oh yeah.
there were so many paper records that were
Well,
destroyed. And
there was a big fire in I can't remember in the 1950s in Iowa somewhere that had all the military records. All the military records were in this one warehouse,
Mhm.
and they got burned up and they're gone.
Mhm.
There were that was the backup, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah, it happened. It happened.
Yeah, it happened. You're right. You're exactly right.
Yep.
Can't prove it. Can't prove anything that's ever existed. I think that's why a lot of people try to burn stuff, like set a house on fire, cover up a murder or whatever. They think it's going to cover it. It's not. That ain't going to happen. But anyway,
Mhm.
but
Well,
yeah, I mean,
when you get right down to it, with just like this one right here, this little camera thing, and the
Oh, yeah.
thousands of others. I've got one on the front door and one on the back door and one back by the garage. You know,
Mhm. Oh yeah, they can tap
nice little things.
into all that.
Yeah, they know more about me than I know about me.
Hmm.
You know,
Oh yeah,
that's
yeah. Oh,
that's disconcerting a little bit sometimes, but
so there's a new series that's come on, and I think it's called Foxhole, and it's got Kiefer Sutherland in it, and I think it's on Paramount,
okay.
and it's the commercials that I have heard for it was like they know things that all the things that you hide, they know,
Mhm. Sure.
and they will let you know they know it when it
Mhm.
comes time. So it's like, ugh. But we do that all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to fart in public, but sometimes it just happens. Ta-da. But that's not what they're
Yes. Yes.
talking about.
I know. Oh my God. I saw something today on the freaking internet. Okay. That is a picture of Sigmund Freud. He was sitting there with a rather perplexed look on his face. He says, "So your client had a porn star smack him on the butt with a rolled up magazine with his face on the cover. And the porn star looked like his daughter. I'll just have to get back to you on that one."
You know what? What difference does it make? You know?
Is it too true? Is it true? Is it true? Is it not true? Is it kind of true?
Did he make that association? Or did somebody also, just decide,
Sure.
oh, well, let's
I
throw
don't
that in
know.
there? That's what I'm getting at, I mean, everybody's
Yeah.
fucked up. Well, just
Yes.
y'all get over it. We're going to have fun.
Yep.
And there you go with your taboo stuff. Just because it's taboo for this group doesn't mean it's taboo for that one.
Sure.
But you're going to play it off. Operation Mockingbird is in full swing.
Yeah.
We're gonna
They'll get my
It's a full
internet.
swing.
They'll be blackmailing me with the number of internet sites I've been perusing lately.
Here we go. Now they're screwing with Julie.
Uh-oh.
Ta-da. Getting disconnected. I swear I sent a comment twice and saw it
Okay.
posted. It's still not listed in the comments. Hello.
Thank you. Thank you, YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh my God. If and so anyway, while I was re-establishing my connection, Jay was on YouTube, but I don't see where he
I don't
made
see
it
him in comments.
over to make any comments. So they know who you are.
Yeah, sorry, Jay. Oh, and we can't hook your Facebook page up to this, so yeah, we can't see him there either.
Yep. I don't know. It's just one of those things.
Mhm.
But there's damn little, nothing I can think of actually, that they could hold over my head, well, to change my mind. Except that sort of thing, actually, really. Oh, well, your children, your grandchildren. Things happen. Things happen to kids these days, don't they? Yeah, I guess. So nobody is above the possibility of being influenced. There just isn't. I don't have an answer. I really don't have an answer for that. The whole thing. What can we do? We can't. We just continue to do the best we can do. Continue to act as conscientiously, as honestly, as truthfully as we can, and to hell with it.
If you ever decide to fight the government on something, make sure the media is not involved.
The what?
The
Make
media.
sure
Media.
Yeah.
Make sure the media is not involved.
Oh, not involved. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay.
Because if they are
Because
involved,
they're like this, right? Right there.
If the media is not involved, it's not going to go out to the world. It's not going to
Mhm.
go anywhere but between you and the government. That might turn out a little bit better because you don't have all of that public opinion bullshit going on behind it.
Mhm.
No, I mean, any day, if you think about this, seriously, and this should scare the shit out of anybody.
Mhm.
At any time, that crap could happen to you.
Yeah.
Whether it's a shooting or if a UFO decides to land out here, I'm telling you, I'm not telling anybody. I'm not reporting.
And little green men with M16 rifles jump out of it.
Hey, you know
trouble.
what? One of my neighbors saw that, and that was because he was snorting coke and he was doing downers at the same time. State police were involved. I'm just saying.
Okay.
But anyway,
Okay, that's good.
but and that's where we are now. It's like, seriously, if I had like the Kelly, Kentucky alien invasion that happened here,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I might get a jar and scoop up some green goo, and I might call you and say, you ain't gonna believe this shit, because I have no video proof, I have no audio, but I got some green goo in a glass.
Yeah. It doesn't look like Dawn.
Yeah, because I buy the blue stuff. I don't buy the green stuff.
It's Dawn that's actually green, or there's another one. There's something.
No,
yeah.
Dawn has green. Palm olive is what you're thinking about. Palm olive is
yes.
green. Yeah.
Yes, that's the one I was trying to think of.
The apple scented Dawn
really
is
nice.
great. Just say.
Green apple, nice stuff.
But yeah, I mean, that's not attention I want. And no wonder people wait 30, 40 freaking years before they come out with anything. Because,
the
and I'm not going to write a book about it.
As I said, go to Wikipedia, read conspiracy theories entry in Wikipedia. And let it twist your mind. Let that whole article twist your mind around about what conspiracies can be, what they can be used for. And if they can be used for something, they are used for something. Guaranteed, and you got to stay away. You can't pay much attention. Don't pay too much of attention to these conspiracy theories, because you're not a good person if you do that. You could be a terrorist, or you could be a just plain crazy person, or you could be this, and you could be no. Damn it! It's got to the point where if you're not a conspiracy, what is it? What was the one? I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a conspiracy scholar or something. Yes.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people. And the bad part, and too, now that this censorship stuff, I mean, Operation Mockingbird is kicked in. I bet they've got a different name for that. I mean, when you can't speak a different, we just haven't found that name yet.
Yes.
But when you can't speak against something, because and then they take you down and they censor you for it, and they want to call it misinformation, or they want to call. But then here we go. But this is 2023, and they're like going, "Oh yeah, you know what? Those people weren't wrong; they were right."
Mm-hmm.
But we all had to go live through that hell. Oh no! I like this one better. Wikipedia. Yep. Yeah. So, anyways, are you good with us talking to Julie after the show?
Say what do you have again?
Are you good with us?
Are we going to have Julie come on with us? Or
Julie, do you want to come on? Or do you just want to talk to us after the show?
Okay, anytime.
Because I can after we end the show, we can send her the StreamYard link and she can talk to us after the show.
Okay, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, because we're already about an hour and a half in.
Yep.
I need another glass of bourbon.
Like 8 o'clock.
I'm out.
All right. Well, I will say we've had some unusual drama in this particular episode.
You're right, we really have.
Yes.
And see, Julie's not even answering now, so I don't even know.
Mm.
She may have been cut off again. I don't know.
Well, she was having trouble with her connection, I think, before.
All
She was popping in and
of
out.
a sudden.
Mhm. I think I've got a Skype for her.
Well,
I'm not sure.
either that or Messenger. You can send her a link in Messenger or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah,
Mhm. But this
Julie
is-
chickened out. That's what Oofy's saying. She might spank
Nah,
CT
I
for you
don't think so.
saying that.
Nah, I don't think so.
Mm.
I've talked to Julie before.
I'm gonna reach. Let me see. I'll reach out to her on Messenger.
We did. Oh my.
Here we go. Yeah. MIB finally got to Julie.
The Men in Black. Now they don't even have to. They don't even have to drive up in a black Cadillac. They just swoop over in a black helicopter, and the world goes to shit.
Exactly. I love
Mm.
the Black Hawk helicopters. I even love the Chinooks. I see a lot of Chinooks around here, 2 or 3
Mhm.
together at a time. I love that. I like to see my military. I just don't like it when they start fucking my shit up.
Yes, yes. Everybody likes it until the bombs start falling. Oh my god! It's just.
All right. Well, I think we've
Squirrels.
pretty much covered a lot of.
I don't know where we can. I don't know where we can top this one.
I don't know. Oofy, you
Oh,
need to come up with some ideas about next time. My goodness, we might need to take next week off.
we have mutant squirrels here in Ohio. They started
I
out
don't
in
doubt that.
one little town about 20 miles away, and they have practically taken over like 3 counties.
What do you mean by mutant squirrels?
Mutant squirrels
What?
that were introduced in the 1920s.
Alien squirrels?
No, they're alien to Ohio. They're black.
Oh yeah.
They're just
Oh, where'd those come from?
they originally came from, I think it was Colorado, and now they're everywhere. A anthropology professor or something, I can't remember exactly who it was, but he introduced them into the city parks in Kent, Ohio, at Kent State.
Those aren't
And I can remember seeing them there in the
That's
70s.
just from a different part of
Yeah.
the world.
Well, okay, but they're
They're not-
alien squirrels.
That's not mutant.
They're like
They're
you know,
fucking illegal.
They probably speak. Yeah, they probably speak like.
Spanish or some kind of shit.
Yes. The squirrel equivalent of Spanish. I don't know. They get along. They get along better than red squirrels and gray squirrels do. Red squirrels and gray.
There's a certain part of Bowling Green, just a certain area, and they have
Mhm.
white squirrels.
Ah, okay.
And it's just in this one certain area of Bowling Green. They've not branched out all over Bowling Green, or they've not moved.
That wouldn't
And it just
seem
seemed
to me to be a characteristic that would generally be a survival benefit to survival. The white squirrel, the hawks will find the white squirrels in the summertime much better than they will be able to find the the gray squirrels or even the red squirrels. You know,
But now, are they white squirrels or are they just albinos?
well, they could be either. They could
That
be,
I don't know.
actually they could be either.
Mhm.
I think you know.
And
it
the funny
depends.
part about it is that part of Bowling Green has monopolized or capitalized on that because we've got White Squirrel Brewery. Can't ever say that word. We
Oh
have
my
White
God,
Squirrel Weather. Yeah. So, but it's because it's on that side of Bowling Green, and I love it.
I had never heard of that. That's cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Anyway, Oofy says my audio is still kind of screwed up. I hate that.
Yeah,
It's not the port. I don't.
make an appointment with us. We test until it's fixed.
Okay, so yeah, you saw my message. We need to delete those tests off of YouTube that I tried to do because I was on the phone with the internet company, and
Well,
I'm
you
running
got
my
up to
test.
you got up to 3 megabytes upload this morning.
Ooh, I haven't tested it this morning.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you did.
Yeah, I haven't. I tested it. I'm supposed to have between 3 and 6. So why I can't get out of 2, I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
And they're
Yeah.
telling me it's not their problem that they pinged my modem and all of that. So
Oh, well then
I have no clue.
tell them to send you a replacement modem. You're renting it every month. If the wire is good back to the modem, then it's the fucking modem. Tell them send me a new modem. You know, you don't own that. It's not your modem.
I had an hour and a half conversation. I was wanting to go see my granddaughter, and I was like, you know what?
I understand.
Done.
I understand very much so.
Okay, so because Oofy,
Well,
I have gone through my damn cellular plan. I am doing a hotspot. I'm not doing my internet.
Mm-hmm.
So when I've sent Julie a message and she's not responded, so I don't know. They might have got her. I'm not sure.
They beamed her up. Damn it!
They might have.
I keep wishing they'll beam me up, but no.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
I've been saying that since 1967. Please beam me up, Scotty.
Mm-hmm.
They don't wipe me down here.
It is not something on my computer, Oofy, because I had someone to take care of that. It's not a driver problem. I can't drive worth a shit. I'm just
wonderfully
what that has to do with
updated
it.
driver system. Yes.
So, anyways, I will take it back to my IT guy when I see him, like sometime next month. So we'll see. Or you and CT can come stay with me. I have a toaster and lots of bread, so we're good to go. Come on.
Yeah,
you can fix it.
Get some.
So, but yeah, my computer's about to die. I'm out of bourbon.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Emergency!
Yeah. We'll have to get a hold of Julie per Skype, I guess. I don't know. We lost Ron.
I'll go ahead. I will go ahead and finish my sign-in procedure because I'm stupid. No, I mean I got in enough to do this, but I've still got I've got to sign with my computer, which is the reason I've got a brand new memory device to put in, and I've just been putting it off, and I haven't yet. Theoretically, that will fix everything.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe they just don't like me. Maybe I've offended Microsoft.
Oh, really?
Oh, good.
Join the crowd.
Blessed are the Microsofters.
Exactly.
Bill Gates is my hero.
Yeah.
He's made my life better. Okay. I did not say anything bad about Elon either.
Oh, yeah. That's hilarious.
Oh, my God. So, y'all, ready to call it a night?
It's been interesting.
It's 8 o'clock. It's 8
Glad y'all
o'clock.
hung
There's
in there.
other shows to see. You can tell them about this one, and they can come back next week and see the next episode of disaster in the middle of America. Okay. Good night, all. So did you hit the off button?